In an extraordinary series of events on July 30, 2025, China found itself grappling with an unprecedented natural disaster. The day began with a tropical storm, which quickly intensified into a full-blown national emergency. Tropical Storm K, initially not classified as a super typhoon, made landfall along China's southeastern coastline, wreaking havoc from the outset. Hours later, a powerful earthquake measuring 8.8 in magnitude struck off the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, triggering a tsunami warning that compounded the chaos. The storm hit hardest at around 8:40 a.m. local time, slamming into the port city of Zhoushan in Zhejiang province. Wind speeds peaked at 83 km/h, accompanied by a massive surge of water that overwhelmed the city's infrastructure. In response, authorities evacuated over 280,000 residents from vulnerable coastal areas, particularly around Shanghai and Zhejiang. A high-level weather alert had been issued, but the storm's rapid escalation took many by surprise, leaving cities overwhelmed and unprepared for the sheer force of its impact. Ningbo, the storm's torrential rains turned streets into raging rivers, trapping entire neighborhoods and isolating residents. Emergency teams scrambled to deploy pumps and barriers, but many areas remained inaccessible for hours. Although Shanghai itself did not suffer a direct hit, it was not spared from severe disruptions. With over 24 million people in the city, more than 640 flights were cancelled in a single day, causing widespread travel chaos. The ferry network was suspended, and both Prong and Hongcha airports ground to a halt as weather-related shutdowns rippled across the region. The transportation network was deeply affected by the storm. Highways saw speed restrictions of 60 km/h, and rail services were either suspended or significantly delayed. Cities such as Hangzhou and Ningbo also experienced severe disruptions, halting commerce and creating a sense of paralysis across the region. The transportation network was deeply affected by the storm. Highways saw speed restrictions of 60 km/h, and rail services were either suspended or significantly delayed. Cities such as Hangzhou, Wenzhou, and Ningbo also experienced severe disruptions, halting commerce and creating a sense of paralysis across the region. In the inland city of Chengdu, located in Sichuan province, an unusual and intense hailstorm added another layer of devastation. In the midst of summer, the skies darkened unexpectedly, followed by an intense downpour and wind gusts. Hailstones up to 3 centimeters in diameter battered rooftops, shattered windows, and damaged vehicles. One local dealership reported significant losses, with employees visibly shaken by the unprecedented scale of the storm. In Chengdu district, fallen trees and power lines caused widespread blackouts, leaving businesses closed and roads congested. As if these calamities weren't enough, a magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck off the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, nearly 4,000 kilometers from Shanghai. The earthquake triggered regional tsunami warnings, with waves of up to 1 meter expected to reach coastal areas of China, including Shanghai and Zhoushan, later that evening. Tsunamis, unlike storms, offer little to no warning, and the threat was imminent. Authorities issued urgent calls for residents to remain indoors and stay away from coastal areas, knowing that a single moment of delay could result in catastrophic losses. While Tropical Storm K was initially not seen as a major threat, its unpredictability and rapid intensification made it one of the most disruptive storms in recent memory. The storm compounded effects, Flooding, airport closures, power outages, traffic shutdowns, and the looming tsunami turned cities like Shanghai into real-time tests of disaster preparedness. Emergency shelters were set up across the region, while search and rescue teams were put on high alert. What added to the surreal atmosphere was the bizarre decision by Shanghai Disneyland and Legoland to remain open, despite the mounting storm. While Legoland suspended rides and shows, it kept its gates open. Disneyland continued operations, citing enhanced safety protocols. The decision sparked a wave of reactions online, with some praising the resilience, while others criticized it as reckless. With the ocean rising, Mickey's going swimming, one social media user joked, summing up the unusual juxtaposition of modern resilience against nature's fury. July 30th, 2025 will not be remembered for a single catastrophic event, but for a convergence of disasters, sky, sea, and the deep underground that tested China's infrastructure, response mechanisms, and urban resilience. The storm, while not the strongest, was certainly one of the most chaotic and unsettling in the nation's history. In Shanghai alone, over 280,000 people were displaced. Thousands of travelers were stranded, and the city's infrastructure was pushed to the brink. Authorities responded swiftly, with coordinated rescue efforts and emergency shelters, but experts are warning that the convergence of climate instability and seismic activity presents a stark challenge. The overlapping crises highlight the need for greater urban resilience in the face of ever-growing environmental threats. The events of July 30th serve as a chilling reminder that in the 21st century, cities must prepare for a range of simultaneous catastrophes that could strike from any direction. With increasing frequency of such disasters, complacency is no longer an option.